Hi, I'm Trent Bruce. I'm an actor, comedian, writer, and a comedy promoter. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Off the Ropes Comedy. Anything goes, no holds barred. 5 rounds of comedy, 3 on 3. Who's gonna win the belt? You decide. Are you ready?
36 for 36 is brought to you by The Late Night Experiment with Motown Maurice. Subscribe today on YouTube.
So I grew up in a small town in Missouri, Jefferson City, Missouri. The capital, everyone thinks the capital is St. Louis, but it's actually Jefferson City. And as a kid, I always made goofy videos. I was a class clown, but I never really performed much in grade school or high school. I was in a metal band in high school, and that kind of dipped my toes in the world of performance, but I never tried out for theater, musicals. A lot of my friends were in the speech and debate team. I just, for some reason, was nervous and never gave myself a real push for that. And then I went to college in Indiana right out of high school, and sophomore year decided, hey, I need to try this out, because I met up with a couple buddies. We had a lot of similar interests, and we both did, or all 3 of us, we liked comedy. We did a little bit of comedy, and we said, hey, let's try out this sketch group. So then we formed the group called Business Casual. We decided, let's start out at the coffee shop in our local college there, and we packed it out. I mean, it usually was just like open mic, music or poetry, and this is the first time they had anything like that. It was so small, we had to change behind the projector screen. There was no like back room or like curtain. It was pretty bare bones, but we had a blast. It was a lot of fun, and then the sky was the limit from there. The goal after that was to do a show every semester. We started doing that, and then at the end of college, we ended up at the big auditorium in our college, packing it out, like 500 something people. We had students, faculty, teachers, everyone there to support. It was a good time. And one of my buddies that was in the group said, hey, I've always wanted to be in Hollywood. Since I was a kid, I've wanted to be in movies, TV. I'm moving to Hollywood. I said, oh my gosh, I'm a marketing major. I thought when I went to college, I would get a job, a wife, the house, you know, the American life. And I said, well, I'm not doing any of those. So let's pack up my bag and let's go to Hollywood. So I moved to Hollywood right after college, pursued the comedy route. And it was awesome, dude. I see all these nerds walking around on their phones playing the Pokemon. Get off your phone, get into the real world, or else I'll give you a knuckle sandwich, brother. So then we landed in Hollywood, and I realized back home I was a big fish in a very small pond. And now I'm a big fish in a huge ocean. It was crazy. I mean, LA and New York are the places that people go for comedy. You know, everyone's top of the top here, and they're really grinding. You know, so we had to bring our A game. So then what we decided to do, we were still doing live shows here in Los Angeles, and then we started putting out weekly content on YouTube, and we did that for about 2 years. It was a lot of fun, had a lot of good reviews, had a couple videos that went viral. It was awesome. And then during that time, I also started working at a brewery in downtown Los Angeles. I'm a beer fan. Got a little discount on the beer, so that was a good time. And I decided, hey, you guys have a trivia night, you have a live music night, but you don't have a comedy night. So then I pitched them a comedy night. They said, let's do it. And then from then out, I did a weekly comedy show for about 2 years there. It was called Pints and Puns. It was a lot of fun. It started off at the brewery. The brewery is a 24,000 square foot warehouse. So it's really noisy, it's really bright. Basically, it's a comedian promoter's nightmare. It does not feel like a comedy room, but my first show, the back wall was like the art gallery, really bright, really loud, but I made it work. I had a great lineup my first show, and comics continually emailed me, hit me up on Facebook. I would love to do the show, love to do the show. And what I found out, having your own show is a great way to get plugged into the comedy community in Los Angeles, and it's a great way to meet other comedians. And no matter what, even if it was in this giant warehouse, people wanted stage time. And so eventually, we upped our game. We now have a stage, professional lighting. It feels like a comedy room, and it's been good.
You see all these people walking around with their fancy haircuts, their fades and their beards. Some guys like to wear a man bun. But not Motown. He's a blast from the past. 1982 called, "They want their haircut back, Motown. Give them their hair."
So I have to admit, after 2 years of Pints and Puns, I was getting bored. It was just another show at another alternative venue that wasn't a comedy club. I mean, I had to produce it, host it, book it, get people to come out. I did it every week. So it started to wear on me. I mean, it wasn't really unique, and it started losing its luster. And I met up with a buddy of mine, and we started throwing around ideas to make it different, because the venue's awesome. It's a great venue. It just needs to tweak it a little bit. And we threw around some ideas, and two of my big loves were comedy and professional wrestling. And that's when we came up with the format that we like to call Off the Ropes Comedy.
It's 3-on-3, 5 rounds of comedy. Anything goes, no holds barred.
We started it in February of 2016, and it's been awesome. It's 3-on-3, 5 rounds of comedy, little parts of wrestling, some parts of comedy, and people battle it out for the belt. We've got a wrestling ring. I play the ring announcer. We've got a ref, a belt, 3 good guys, 3 bad guys. It's awesome.
You guys ready for the first round? First round's the suck it round. Each team has 5 minutes to do some of their dirtiest jokes. Give it up for the shit talker!
At first, the crowd didn't know what to expect. Wrestling, comedy, but you get into it.
Round 2, ladies and gentlemen, are out of nowhere round. This is an improvised round.
You boo the bad guys, you cheer the good guys. There's elements of wrestling, so there's chair shots and people talking crap on each other. It's a great time.
Our next round is from the top rope. This is topical jokes, current event jokes.
And now with Off the Ropes Comedy, I feel like I've finally found my comedic voice. I mean, my voice as this ring announcer. I get to go out, I get to be crazy, get to wild out, and people love it. And I love doing it. It's merged both my loves for wrestling and comedy. And you know what? I've got big goals for this show, but it's gonna happen. Eventually we're gonna get this show inside of an actual wrestling ring. I've been incorporating more comedians in it. I'm gonna incorporate more wrestlers in this, make it a huge spectacle. And the goal is to get this bad boy on TV.
What you gonna do, brother? When these 2-inch pythons.
Is that 2-inch? I don't know. So the first time I made my appearance on the Late Night Experiment with Motown Maurice, season 3, episode 6, where I got to play a cop. And who doesn't like to play a cop? Me and my partner had to arrest him. We burst in, found him. He actually called in and admitted his guilt, which he should, because he's a low-life criminal. Season 4, I came back, episode 1. We were at a press conference, and I got a nice little badge to show how good I was and how bad Motown was. Because again, he's a criminal, and if I had the chance, I would lock him up and throw away the key. It was a lot of fun.
And the law will prevail.
It always does.
Because Motown Maurice will be rotting in jail. Ooh.
Spin me around.
Yay! On my way.
No further questions.
There's a lot of garbage on the internet that you have to sift through, but there's one thing on the internet that you gotta watch. It's the Late Night Experiment with Motown Maurice. 6 seasons, 36 episodes, 6 episodes per season. If you don't watch it, I'll come to your house, rip you in half, and then take your mother out on a date. Yeah!
There once lived a man named Motown Maurice. His hair was tall and his ears were sleek. He's on a journey for late night TV. Subscribe and witness his story. Witness his story.